takes an approach as a coach.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's a field back block, and that's
a guy that rolls his body around.
Mic Drop Sports. Steel City Live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Steel City Live here on Mic Drop Sports. We appreciate you for diving in here on a Friday as the Pittsburgh Steelers news is hot and heavy going toward this game here on Monday Night Football. Check us out. We'll be there definitely hanging out. So make sure you stop and say hello if you see us out and about. But we're going to dive into this show. A super chat already coming in from our friend, Zah Curry. Appreciate that, Zah. Thank you, Zah. Thank you. Best Steelers chat on the planet. Let's go. Bang, bang, Steeler gang. I might pass out before hand. There's no telling. Haha, new job is killer. Let's get this, man. Let's get this dub. Absolute. Thank you, man. I appreciate that and your support all the time. Zah, you're a good man, and I appreciate that. And I hope your new job and everything is going really well for you. And thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate that and very humbled by that. So we appreciate you so much. And anybody else that gives super chats, we appreciate that a great deal. Let's go to Craig Werlo next. Steelers organization screwed up and they try to lie about it. Watt and his family won't put up with that shit. Like I said before, a bunch of clowns. Yeah, we're gonna dive into that. That's what I do, guys. I do have a degree in respiratory therapy. So when we're talking about lungs, I'm going to answer some of those questions, and we're going to talk about some of what that meant for TJ Watt. So he's getting a dry puncture, or an acupuncture dry needle or something is what they call it. So they're inserting needles into certain areas. So I'm assuming, I'm not sure where they were sticking him. Was it in the apical segment, way up top here for you guys? Was it way up top here? Was it down low? It was a partial collapse. We'll dive into that and we'll talk about it and we'll break down. And they talk about a surgical repair for that. I'll give you all the options of what they could have done, possibly. For that pneumothorax is what they would call that, a pneumothorax. So there are other things too when you're talking about the lung, a hemothorax. There are several different things that you're talking about, and we're going to dive into all that and break it down and try to give you a better understanding in layman's terms of what is going on. I know a lot of people try to throw big medical terms at you and things of that nature sometimes, but we're going to dive in and break it down exactly what it means and what they're talking about with TJ Watt in that injury. I don't expect him to play. Again, we don't know the severity of that injury, guys. We don't know the severity. Partial. Okay. What, was it just one little small segment, that collapsed? They were able to repair it quickly. We don't know. We don't know the extent of that. What kind of a repair did they do? We don't know. We don't know the full details of what happened there. So we'll definitely dive in and share some of that with you guys and let you know what maybe we know a little bit here at Mic Drop Sports about what is possibly going on with a injury like a pneumothorax and TJ Watt's partially collapsed lung, and that's what exactly a pneumothorax is, a collapse of the lung. So we'll talk about that. JD, what's up, man? Good to see you, big JD in the house. Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. Happy Friday, everybody. Good to see you, Daniel. Hey, Wall, bang, bang. Steeler gang in the house. Good to see you. Hey, Wall. Extra Black in the house, man. What's up, Extra Black? Good to see you, man. Make sure you guys are hitting like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the OGs in here already. Seeing a lot of you guys that are always in here, and I appreciate you guys so much. Extra Black, A, Wall, Zah, JD, Danny George, I seen pop up in there. So many of you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it, and I'll get to all of you and welcoming you in here. There's Big Danny George. What's up, man? Good to see you. Craig Werlo also here in the house. We appreciate Craig. Pierre and Harmon didn't practice today. That's not good. And it's not, especially when you're talking about young guys, i.e., Derek Harmon, Craig. And that's really, Mike Tomlin, you know how he operates, especially with young guys. Young guys like Derek Harmon probably have no chance of playing. James Pierre, on the other hand, a veteran in this league, possibly could play. But there is also another interesting development here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This, according to Penn Live's Nick Farabaugh. You may know Nick Farabaugh from some of the stuff he does here on YouTube. And also, I was on a show over on Steelers Almighty where Nick was also on in that show, and we talked some Steelers last year, I believe. It was Nick, Big B, and I, and we were diving into some Steeler talk. So, Nick, make sure you go over and support Nick over at Penn Live. And what he is doing in terms of Steelers content. He's pretty truthful and knowledgeable with what he's doing. Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Calvin Austin III suffered a calf injury on Friday in practice and was limited. Austin was seen walking off the field with the trainers during the viewable period of practice, but is unknown if the injury is severe or if he has a chance to play on Monday against the Dolphins. Again, that is according to Penn Live's Nick Farabaugh. And that is talking about Calvin Austin III, my friends. That is another injury. The injuries stack up. TJ Watt, Derek Harmon, Calvin Austin III, James Pierre. The injury list. Darnell Washington, concussion stuff. The list is big, man. And the Steelers are coming into a pivotal game against the Miami Dolphins, a surging Miami Dolphins football team that can run the football. Can the Steelers stop that? That is my question here again tonight, on top of explaining what's going on with TJ Watt. Can the Steelers' big men up front, those big men, can they get things rolling here and lock down that defensive front for the Pittsburgh Steelers and stop the bleeding? Guys, the numbers don't lie. Without Derek Harmon, the Steelers are a different defense this year against the run. You see, when Derek Harmon is in there, they have had some of their more special days when you're talking about going out and getting after the run game. And that they shut down Jonathan Taylor like he was a rookie. They put him into a padded four-wall cell is what they did to Jonathan Taylor. He did nothing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But when you see Derek Harmon out of the lineup, you're seeing some of these big numbers, man. 200-plus yard games against the Steelers. Are the Steelers perfect with Derek Harmon in there against the run? The answer is no, but they are far better statistically with Derek Harmon inside of that lineup, no doubt about it. Let's get back to the chat. Extra Black says, what's your take on Roman Wilson being a healthy scratch last week? I hate to see it for the young man because I want to see him continue to climb the ladder, Extra Black. I don't want to see that young man get buried. I just don't want to see it. I hate it for him. You know what I mean? I really had high hopes for Roman. That's my personal belief. I thought Roman Wilson could do some things. You know, when I talk about the shorter wide receivers and not every one of them can go out there and get it done. I thought Roman Wilson would have the ability to go out there, be a little bit undersized, still be able to get it done and be a productive member of the Steelers offense moving forward. But he has run into roadblock after roadblock. Some of them are roadblocks that he has put in front of himself. I reported on that a while ago whenever other people were talking about it very, very lightly. But Roman Wilson, nonetheless, healthy scratch, just like Extra Black said last weekend. Do I hate it for the Steelers? The answer is no. And I say this why? Because I thought the experience of Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Adam Thielen provided a layer to that Pittsburgh Steelers offense that they have been missing. Not that Roman is like inferior athletically or anything, because I don't think that to be the case. I think it forced the Baltimore Ravens defense to respect the veteran presence of Adam Thielen, of Marquez Valdes-Scantling, of DK Metcalf. And it forced them to have to play heads-up football and not roll coverage over the top of DK Metcalf on a continual basis, allowing the Steelers to possibly open things up a little bit more. So did I hate it? No. But we just talked about a Calvin Austin III possible injury to his calf and how we don't know the severity of that. So that probably bumps Roman Wilson back into the lineup if you're going to be missing a guy like Calvin Austin III. You never know. So What do I feel about it? I hate it for the young man, but for the team, I thought it was a necessary thing. And again, for the reasons that I just stated, I thought Roman Wilson being a healthy scratch definitely gave the Steelers something that they've been missing. Now, how does Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith and this wide receiver room, how do they work Roman Wilson back into that fold? Because I think he could add a dynamic to that group that could be special. But you got guys like Ben Skoranek that are going to take up a spot each and every week. Why? Is Ben Skoranek some physical freak of nature that's going to go out there and put up 200 yards receiving? No, he's just not. Is it possible that he could have a big game? Yeah, maybe. But chances are no. Really good no. Ben Skoranek, though, gets himself a helmet each and every week. Why? Because he goes out there and he plays all the special teams, and he plays special teams at an absolutely high level, right? And Ben Skoranek will go out there and make dirty catches into traffic in places that people don't want to. And he will go and block downfield. He will sell out in the blocking game. He isn't worried about statistics and numbers for himself. He is just playing football. And that's why you see Ben Skoranek in there week in and week out. And he finds a catch here and there. And that is something that's definitely, just something that got to be taken into account, and why perhaps maybe Roman Wilson just didn't see a helmet. Another super chat coming in here from JD. Do you think this was just a fluke accident with TJ? Yeah, JD, when you're getting anything here, especially when you're talking about dry needling, that's like acupuncture. You're trying to hit nerve points and positions inside of the body to alleviate pressure and stress and pain in other areas. There are certain areas we all know with acupuncture and things of that nature that allow you to do those things. So there's always an inherent risk when you're talking about sticking needles into somebody, you know what I mean? And especially when you're talking about the lung segments here. Really feel right here, especially for a guy like TJ Watt, who, is muscular and things of that nature. There isn't a lot of tissue there, right? There isn't a shit ton of depth and tissue that protects you from getting punctured. Yeah, the rib cage is there, but you got to remember there's a softer cartilage in between those ribs and things of that nature that a needle's going to go right through. So accidents do happen. I definitely don't believe it was something that was purposely done, because that would be something that would cost that person that does that their licensure to do that. That would cost them their career, and it would probably land them in jail. You know what I mean? That would be a significant piece of malpractice there. So I don't believe that it was definitely done on purpose, and I just think it was just a super freak accident, and it does happen. And again, there are risks with that he knows. That I'm sure the therapist that was doing that, or whatever they call themselves, the acupuncturist or whatever they call themselves, I'm sure they were definitely explaining those things to the players before they receive any of those treatments, that there is risk, and the Steelers know those risks also. Mark Malone in the house. I think Thielen ends up playing a big part soon. I do too. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Mark also says, yeah, Roman should be back this week. I would think so. I think you would see the Steelers carry, 5 wide receivers from here on out. I do. I think you want to give Aaron Rodgers the most weapons that you can possibly give him, right? So 5 is a good number. I think you always see that, maybe with an occasional 6th guy because of special teams, that fits into that. Maybe you see that occasionally, i.e. a Ben Skoranek. That's how he finds his way onto this football team each and every week. But again, you're going to have DK Metcalf. You're going to have MVS. You're going to have Adam Thielen. There's 3 right there. And then you're looking at guys like a Ben Skoranek. There's 4. Calvin Austin, 5. There's Roman Wilson. There's 6. There's your 6, and then you got punt returners and things of that nature, that fall into that wide receiver category. So with special teams, with offense, you're going to find the Steelers carrying 5 to 6 wide receivers each and every single week. And I agree with Mark Malone. I think Thielen is going to play a role before this season is over. I think Adam Thielen plays a big role in this Steelers offense some way, somehow. I feel like Adam Thielen still has something in the tank, especially when he's not going to face any type of significant coverage in terms of being doubled or anything like that. He's going to be able to play a little bit of backyard football with Aaron Rodgers, and I think you're going to see some of that. I think you started to see some of that in Baltimore. Aaron can still move a little bit. Is he absolutely super mobile? No, but he can get out of there. And I think you're going to start to see some of those backyard football plays as the season progresses a little bit further into the playoffs. I think you're going to see that a little bit more from guys like Thielen, DK. Maybe not DK, but I think Thielen, the tight ends. I think that group right there, the backs out of the backfield, I think you might see them, scrambling out, sitting down in coverage, and giving Aaron Rodgers something to find when he rolls out and gets out of the pocket a little bit, and perhaps open things up for the Steelers offense a little bit. I don't see how they can fuck up the point of going through the Plura. Yeah, I don't understand it either, Mark. When I do things, when I work in the hospital, I'm making sure that I'm extra careful, especially if I'm going to be sticking a needle into your body somewhere, like I'm going to be taking an arterial blood gas, something like that. I'm really going to be handling that with care, man. You're putting a foreign object, a needle, that can do damage, man, significant damage. So you have to know exactly what you're doing. You need to be running those pre-assessment checks on people, checking for the circulation, things of that nature. Just a million and one different things that you need to be checking to ensure what? That you're properly doing those procedures, And again, a lot of people that aren't in the medical field, they don't understand some of these things because, they just pop up out of the blue and they start throwing all this medical terminology around. But yes, definitely, I think that there is something or some sense of malpractice there, if you ask me, man, especially when you're talking about dealing around this area where, yeah, and that goes for the back guys too. You can get through in the back too. You can pop the lung. So when you're talking about the chest and things like that, you got to be handling with care, super care, especially when you're dealing with long needles like that dry needling. I looked some of it up. It's not like your typical acupuncture needle. It's like a little bit longer needle from what I saw. And again, I didn't research it in depth, but definitely something to think about. Extra Blackwood, hold on, let me bring your comment back up, buddy. Come down. Arthur Smith wanted Jonnu Smith, but he has been a complete non-factor. I think, yes, I agree. I think they attempt to use Jonnu in ways that he's not meant to be used, man. They want to use him as a running back a lot more than I think that he should. That should be an oddity when you see Jonnu Smith. You see him moving around in motion in terms of getting the handoffs on end rounds and things of that nature. I think Jonnu Smith needs to be a more lateral, vertical receiver. That's what I think you need to see Jonnu Smith doing, hitting the seam, hitting those flag patterns, those quick posts, those outs, those ins. I think you need to see a lot more from that from Jonnu Smith. This season went so damn fast. It did, Danny. It did, and we are here in a big, big way now. Let's go over this TJ Watt stuff in a minute, but I want to recap all of the AFC standings, and we will do the NFC standings as we approach this weekend and what is going to be at stake for this league and which teams got to be bringing it here this week and can't afford to fumble. Let's talk about the AFC East right here. This is the New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, the team the Steelers will face on Monday night, and the New Jersey Jets. The Jets are out of it, guys. They're done. They're cooked. They're roasted and toasted. But the Dolphins are surging here, 4-3 at home. A 0.462 win percentage. They have 281 points for and 296 against. But they are on a little bit of a hot streak here as the Steelers are going to be welcoming them into Acrisure Stadium here on Monday Night Football in the Steel City, man. And a 6-7 football team coming in on a night where it's going to be 23 degrees. We'll see how all these variables take shape and play into this game for Tua Tagovailoa and company. But the New England Patriots are running that fucking division in the AFC East. They run the East. The Buffalo Bills, though, 9-4. And that's why I say this, guys. The Steelers cannot make the playoffs unless they are division champions. There will only be one representative this year from the AFC North. That's just the way it will go. Let's go to the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars take over the South by beating the Indianapolis Colts last week, dropping them to 8-5, and the Texans have been hot under quarterback C.J. Stroud in an amazing defense down there in Houston. The Texans are a team to watch, a team that I believe truly can win a Lombardi trophy. I know a lot of people might disagree with me there, but I think the Houston Texans, with a young C.J. Stroud, a man of God, a man of real faith, and I really, really am starting to admire C.J. Stroud from afar, and really starting to admire what he has done in terms of being a leader down there in Houston, and they got a good one in CJ, and I'm very proud of that young man and what he's been able to do in this league. He can process, he can play, he can get it done, he has the arm, and he has that leadership quality that I think you just can't find anywhere. So kudos and props to CJ Stroud. He has his football team now at 8-5. Titans are out of it. Jacksonville, though, took over that division behind Trevor Lawrence and that Jaguars offense. They are 9-4. They have scored 328 points, and they've only given up 272. They have a 5-2 home record there in Jacksonville, so that home record definitely means something. And the Jags have defended their house. So the Jacksonville Jaguars right now lead the AFC South. So that gives you the Patriots, Jaguars so far as division leaders. Let's head out to the AFC West, where the 11-2 Denver Broncos are absolutely owning that division. This is the big one, guys. This is where you see them really shining. They are 6-0 at home for the Denver Broncos. They are perfect at home this year. They've only given up 235 points. They are 11-2. They are running that division that has the likes of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders inside of it. The Raiders, guys, they are out. They're cooked. They're done. And I believe the Chiefs are done, if you ask me to. I don't think there's a prayer in hell that the Kansas City Chiefs can make the playoffs this year. Team that scored 315 points and only given up 252. They have a 5-2 home record. But where are the Chiefs stumbling? It's when they go on the road, guys. They can't seem to figure it out. 5 losses this year on the road for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have been atrocious on the road. And you have the Chargers sitting there, a team that beat the Steelers 9-4. So let's get to the one that we all want to talk about, the AFC North, as the Steelers lead this division 7-6, hold the tiebreaker over the Ravens currently as it sits right now, as the Ravens are in second place at 6-7. Bengals not out of it mathematically just yet, but I believe they're done because they don't play very well at home. 2-4 right now at home, and they have the Ravens coming into Cincinnati. How does that go? How does that fare for them? I don't know if they can get a win at home. They haven't played very well, but Joe Burrow's back. We'll see how it goes. They do have one of the better offenses in the entire league, and I think the Ravens are stumbling. So maybe you see the Bengals beat the Ravens, drop them to 6-8, and that would be a real gift for the Steelers because then that would give them a little even more breathing room. They are 7-6 right now. The Steelers 7-6. They've scored 308 points, guys, but they have given up 311. At home, they have lost 3 times. So they have lost the same at home as they have on the road. They have 3 losses each. They have played the exact same way. One week, you get a Pittsburgh Steelers team that is absolutely amazing. The next week, you wonder where the fuck they were if they were on vacation all week or something because they don't look good. But 7-6, guys, Steelers leading this division. Can they hold on? They have had a chokehold on this division a lot of the weeks in this season here in 2025, but they've continually allowed this thing to slip through their hands. And then you look at the injuries continually stacking up day after day. Freak things happening, guys. Sometimes you got to have luck on your side, and that's not luck having TJ Watt have a pneumothorax here ahead of a Monday night matchup when you absolutely need it against the Miami Dolphins at home in Acrisure Stadium. So definitely something that we got to figure out here if you're the Steelers. Let's go to Craig Werlow talking about Tyrod. Craig Werlow says 5 years ago, Tyrod Taylor had the same thing and cost him being the #1 quarterback for the Chargers at the beginning of that year. Yeah, man, it's definitely something that can hinder you. No doubt about it. JD says, I think you are so right, Jason, about how competitive this league is. Just look at the win and loss records. Yeah, you see it, JD, the whole way down. There is a team in each division that is basement dweller, and you have the Jets, the Raiders, the Titans, the Browns. Those are the 4 teams that are fucking out of it, right? We know they're done. They suck. The Browns got a little glimmer of hope because I think Shador's playing really well for them. It's a shame though that Shador got drafted there because I think it's a setup for failure because I just think that's the Browns. They sabotage everybody's career. I just hate for any young quarterback. I don't care what round you're drafted in to go to Cleveland because I think it's the quarterback graveyard. But that's neither here nor there. But when you're talking about this league, JD, you look at how tight it is. And that's why I say, if you're the Steelers, there is no way. You already have 6 losses. That means you got to run the table anyway to make the playoffs regardless. Take the division out of it. The Steelers could only make the playoffs if they run the table. And that's just a maybe they would make a wild card spot. So getting the division is imperative. That's why you look at a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, 6-7. Baltimore Ravens, 6-7. They lose one more game, it's lights out for them. There's 2 more teams you could add to the trash heap to join the Raiders, the Browns, the Titans. The Titans and who else sucks real bad? The Jets. You could add those 2 teams to it. So you look at the Ravens, you look at the Bengals, you look at the Chiefs. Those teams right there, they're 1 loss away from getting put onto the trash heap. The Steelers, they're 2 losses away from getting put onto the trash heap because they hold the tiebreaker against the Ratbirds right now inside of the division. And they're 1-1 with the Bengals right now in the division. So, they're about 2 games away from being put onto the trash heap. So, this isn't a year, and I truly thought when I saw this, say, AFC North shaping up this year in the summer, I thought that this could be a year you saw 3 playoff teams from the AFC North. I thought it could be a year that you really, truly did. And I thought the Browns and the Steelers were going to be the toss-up for that 3rd team. I didn't think the Browns were going to be this bad, but Stefanski definitely did Browns type shit, and the Steelers running the show, and at 7-6, and it's almost an embarrassment. But I'll take it, man. Playoffs are playoffs, and all you need in the playoffs, guys, and I want to warn you this: all you need in the playoffs is a chip in a chair. That's it. Anything can happen in the playoffs. I don't care what your record was, as long as you get into the playoffs, anything can happen, and you got to be hype for it. Craig Werlow, Texans defense is a championship-style defense which can go on the road and win. And that is the key right there, Craig, in playoff football. Do you have a team that's built to win on the road? That's the team that typically does pretty well. A team that can win on the road, win in hostile environments. And I don't know if the Steelers can do that consistently. Can they win on the road? Yes, we've seen it. They went and beat the Patriots on the road. They went overseas and beat the Minnesota Vikings up. They did things like that give you confidence that says, hey, they can do that on the road. They can win on the road. We're confident that they can, but the consistency hasn't been there. That's the only thing that plagues the Steelers, guys. We've seen glimmers of hope. We've seen them do things that are, yeah, cool. They can hold their own. But then we've seen lots of things that show you, man, what the fuck are they doing? AWOL Bang Bang Steeler Gang, is Joe Burrow really talking about leaving the Bengals? He would make a great addition to the Steelers. I would mortgage the future for Joe Burrow. Absolutely would. But here's the thing. You can't make the same mistake the Bengals have. You can't go out there and not be able to protect him super well because he's going to get injured. You've got to be able to protect him. You have to. The guy, he can't take hit after hit after hit. But also, you have to put a defense in place to play with him. Because, yes, he's going to get you 30. He's going to get you 30 each and every week. Pretty damn close, if not over 30. And you got to take advantage of that. But you need a defense that can get a stop here and there. And it needs to be a consistent defense. The scary thing with Joe Burrow is if he can stay healthy and you give him any resemblance of a defense that can get off the field once or twice and make a stop in a game, he wins. And he can win at a very, very high clip. I would love the addition of Joe Burrow, but that's probably a very unlikely, highly unlikely scenario. Craig Werlow, Pickett looks like he will start this Sunday against the Eagles. I don't care what Pickett does, Craig. It's funny though, ain't it? Who had the Panthers in first place on their bingo card? Say it now, because I can say if anybody said that they did, they're lying, Craig, because I sure the hell didn't. Herbert Mahalov, or Mahalov. Sorry, man, I'm not pronouncing your last name right. How come every single time we get close to a playoff run, TJ Watt is always hurt? He needs to man up. This isn't something that you can man up. I agree with you. I agree. The injuries are there, Herbert. I agree. I think it sucks. No doubt about it. But this isn't a man up injury. This isn't something TJ caused. This was a medical accident. He was getting a therapy and it went wrong. But let's go and take a look real quick at some of that stuff. Let's talk about JJ getting TJ Watt's injury here. Adam Schefter reports Steelers standout TJ Watt underwent surgery Thursday to repair a partially collapsed lung suffered Wednesday. As J.J. Watt reported, T.J. Watt is expected to be discharged from the hospital today, but he is unlikely to play Monday night versus the Dolphins. That was according to Adam Schefter. That's when it happened on Wednesday. Then let's take a look at the T.J. Watt stuff here. We talked about Adam Schefter's report. What can they do? Here's a list of surgeries and things that they can do to repair those things. I don't know the severity of TJ Watt's injury. Neither do you. Neither does anybody else but TJ Watt and his doctors. So here's a list of things that you can read that tell you what the possibilities are that they could do. The surgeries. The most common thing that they do is literally just making small incisions. They put a camera in there. They seal the leak. That's thoracoscopic surgery. That's the most common thing. It's tiny microscopic shit. They seal the leak, and that's probably how they repaired TJ Watts. I don't think it would be in the severity to where you'd need stapling, retraction, things that you see here. You talk about a pleurodesis, a procedure to fuse the lung to the chest wall, preventing future separation. Yeah, I don't think he got a pleurodesis. I don't think that probably was the case. I literally think that this was a freak accident where there was a small puncture placed into either the apical segment, the upper segment, or you're talking about the basilar segments, the base of the lung, the basal segments, perhaps in the middle there. But I'm pretty certain it's probably somewhere in the top, somewhere in the bottom, to where they were putting those needles in. They punctured that maybe basal segment or the apical segment there, causing a small pneumothorax that required some sort of way to seal it up, which they probably did a video assisted thoracoscopy and or thoracoscopic surgery that required them to again seal up a small hole. But I'm sure they went in there with the video assist to ensure that they sealed it absolutely 1000% correctly, and that's probably what happened. That's exactly probably the nuts and bolts of exactly what happened. So that's probably exactly what TJ Watt had there, guys. So we talk about TJ Watt's injury. That's exactly probably what happened. And there's probably 1,000,001 reports out there, but in layman's terms, this is exactly what I believe. Now, again, we're not privy to the exact information. Nobody is. I'm assuming that it was a very small puncture, like either up here. TJ Watt, he's had that pec problem before. He had that shoulder problem. He tore that pectoral muscle before. He always is having like a brace and things there. I'm assuming they were trying to do some sort of dry needling up around the shoulder areas. That's what I'm assuming, because those joints are the ones that are moving constantly, that he uses quite frequently. Just played a game against the Baltimore Ravens to where what? There was a lot of hitting involved, a very physical football game. I'm assuming, this is my theory, that probably what happened. And again, maybe there's reports out there that tell you, but I wouldn't trust them because doctors don't give out that information till you hear from TJ Watt himself or Mike Tomlin. I wouldn't believe any of it. So, again, I think that that's what happened. They were trying to dry needle around here somewhere. I think they were trying to do something here. You talk about right here. So like this is called mid axillary, right? You would be like right in the middle of your armpit, axillary. Okay. So I'm assuming that they were trying to work on this joint right here, one of the two, left, right. I don't know what lung was punctured, but I'm assuming that when you're dry needling, they were trying to get into this joint area somewhere. They could have come through the back. They could have come through here in the front. But I'm assuming that it punctured the very top, the apical segment, the very top of your lungs. So, guys, your lung sits like right up in here. You know what I mean? Inside your chest cavity. So when you're doing that, you could very easily puncture that. So I'm assuming there was a small puncture there. And the surgery that was required was what? A video assisted thoracoscopic surgery, to where they took a small camera, went in, sealed the small hole that was in TJ Watt's lung, sealed it very quickly, very easily, very fast, guys. That was sealed, that was done, and they checked with that camera. They looked around, made sure there was nothing else that was damaged during the dry needling event or procedure that they were doing on him. And that was it. Sealed it back up, probably a stitch or two, if that. Very, very minimal. These things are microscopic stuff that you're dealing with. And he stayed in the hospital as a precaution to make sure that the lung didn't collapse again, to ensure that they sealed it properly. That's exactly probably how this went down. Exactly to the T, 1,000%. It was probably done at UPMC Presbyterian Hospital. That's exactly probably what happened, to be real. So that's my 2 cents from somebody that deals with lungs. Again, we could get into all the medical jargon, but real simple. That is what happened to TJ Watt. Now, the question you're going to have as a fan, a Steeler fan, is can TJ Watt play? Can TJ Watt bounce back, play Monday Night Football after that event? I got to say, I believe the answer is no. That's my opinion. Because why, guys? Why, as a doctor, would you clear somebody to go out and play a highly, highly physical game in a position to where you're really, really, really getting it cranked up? You're taking hits, you're hitting people, and where are you hitting people? Boom, boom, with your shoulders and shit. I think that would cause, some things that you don't want. So I believe that they need at least a week. So I believe TJ Watt sits out here today. Or Monday rather, and I believe that that's what happens, and you don't see TJ Watt Monday night. I think it's a heavy blow for the Steelers, but I do believe you see him the following week. I think this is 1 week. He's back. He's ready to roll. I think he'll be okay. He's an athlete, man. The body heals in amazing ways, especially a guy that's in good shape like him, guys. Maybe he'll go get in his little oxygen chamber and heal himself up. What do they call them? Whatever the fuck it is that they sleep in. They're hyperbaric type stuff. But that's what I believe. That's what I believe. So take it for what it is. We did that. Craig Werlo, we did that. We did that. We did Herbert. Let's go to JD. The Steelers can win without TJ. They just have to believe. I fully believe that to be true too, JD. I believe the Steelers can win without TJ Watt. Absolutely. I think that that's 1,000% truthful. No doubt about it, man. I think they can win without him because I think they have some young, exciting players that I really like to see. the Herbigs, the Sawyers. I like those guys, and I think that they could really play well. I think Alex Highsmith can really play well. Yes, TJ Watt does add a layer because they have to pay extra attention to him, but the defense has been getting gashed anyway. So I feel like maybe schematically it'll loosen things up for the Steelers and maybe make them try to do some different things. Maybe it'll help. Maybe the absence of TJ Watt will give the Steelers a reset a little bit in terms of their schematics and the way they're approaching the game, and hopefully loosen things up for the Steelers defense in a little bit in a positive direction. Let's go to Mark Malone. I just don't understand how they could go deep enough to puncture the fucking Plura, though. Jesus, they have to have some semblance of depth perception. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how they would do that. And again, I think the needle's pretty long, Mark, of what they're dealing with. So I don't know if you're a seasoned person and doing that, which I would hopefully expect that you're not allowing just some fucking Yahoo to come in there and do dry needling acupuncture on somebody, especially a $40 million a year athlete like TJ Watt ahead of a Monday Night Football game where you fucking gotta have it. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. Maybe it was a slip, Mark, maybe they were going to push in, to get that needle and they like slipped a little bit or something, and it jammed. I don't know. I can't come up with any reason why that would happen. Because yes, that's got to go in not crazy far. Again, there isn't a lot of meat there. But you're going to meet resistance, especially when you're going in between the ribs there, guys. There's cartilage and shit in between there, you're going to feel that resistance, you're going to feel how much more different that is than your regular skin and popping through, when you do stick a needle through, when you get through that skin, you feel that little bit. It's not crazy, but you feel that little pop. So yeah, as somebody that puts needles in people, I would expect that you could feel how far you're going there. You feel that in your fingertips when you're inserting that needle in there. And I think that that's definitely something that needs to be paid attention to. Sorry, guys. I thought I dropped my headphones because they popped up on my thing and I didn't want them to clear off my my headset. Upper lobe, lower lobe, hell, I just don't see how they go that deep. Me either, Mark. I do not see it, and I've been baffled by it since I heard it. And I've been pondering it. And Mark knows too. Mark understands this stuff. Mark definitely knows his shit with this. So that's what we're both people that know this, and we're sitting here perplexed by how that happened. I just don't understand it. I mean, we've talked about that, when you're talking about scenarios and things, and you're talking about when you're learning the lungs and you're learning medical stuff, you talk about scenarios like, hey, they're going in to do this and they get punctured. They could slightly hit that apical section there. I think that's probably the easiest to hit. For me, if I'm the guess, I can almost guarantee it was the apical, like the top part of the lung. I think that would be the easiest part for them to actually get to, as opposed to like the basal segments and shit. I don't know. I think it had to have been an upper lobe, but still, I don't know how the fuck they did that. Yeah, you would feel it pop. You would feel it pop, and you would fucking see TJ go, oh, yeah, it ain't going to feel good, dude. Guys, there's going to be pain associated with that. There's going to be instant difficulty breathing. 1000% the signs and symptoms are going to, boom, hammer down. Yeah, it's not good. Is it going to kill you? No. Get there, get treated, figure it out. But is it going to suck for TJ? Fuck yeah, dude. It's going to suck bad. It'd suck for anybody. But guess what? TJ's, again, a superior athlete, and I would assume that he heals pretty damn fast. Whoever it is, Mark, I'll say this. Whoever did it, I can guarantee you they ain't never doing it again. Not at Pittsburgh. Because now they got a tarnish on their name, man. I don't know how you do it. Guys, I don't know how you fucking do it. I don't get it. All right, guys, let's go over real quick. There's JJ. That was the release JJ gave. Yesterday, TJ had successful surgery to stabilize and repair a partially collapsed lung suffered Wednesday after a dry needling treatment session at the facility. Recovery timeline is still to be determined, but all went well, and he is being released from the hospital today. He and his family are very appreciative of everyone's kind words and well wishes. And again, prayers to our all-world guy, TJ Watt. No doubt about it, guys. But again, I know there's people that say, like, there's a possibility. There's a possibility. Mike Tomlin said it best. Classify him as out, guys. He ain't playing, man. I'm just telling you. He ain't playing. All right, let's go over the NFC standings real quick. Eagles 8-5, Cowboys 6-6. They're looking bad. Again, I just don't see how they make any moves inside the NFC. The Commanders, disappointment of the season for me. I expected the Commanders to compete for a Super Bowl championship this year, or at least get into an NFC championship game or close to it. But when you're without Jaden Daniels and things, that tends to happen and put a damper on your season. The Giants are absolutely shit as usual. Just another great Giants year. NFC North, Packers, Bears, Lions, Vikes, Steelers hold wins against the Vikings. Losses against the Packers and Bears. May have yet to play the Lions. That'll be the next matchup on December 21st. That'll be a Sunday, December 21st, 4:25 p.m. in Detroit, in the Motor City, as they go and take on the Detroit Lions, who are 8-5 right now. A team that has scored almost 400 points this season, and still, again, guys, are 8-5. They've given up 304 points, so the Steelers can score on them. It's just a question: are they going to be able to withstand that environment against a very good football team next week? Next Sunday in Detroit. The Steelers again have beaten the Vikings. Bears 9-4, Packers 9-3. Let's move over to the AFC South or the NFC South. Again, who would have had it? Panthers 7-6 right now. Atop of the NFC South over the Buccaneers, who are a 7-7 football team. The Falcons, Arthur Smith's old team that he used to coach, 5-9, and the Saints are in the fucking basement at 3-10. So that rounds out the NFC South. Let's move over to the NFC West as the Rams and the Seahawks doing very well. Both 10-3 football teams right now. The 49ers sitting at 9-4 and the Cardinals 3-10. They are out of it. But this is a division right now, guys, that you can see three teams going into the playoffs out of this division. Rams, Seahawks, Niners. So this could be a division where you see three teams out of one division inside of the playoffs, and that could be the NFC West here this year. All right, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you're hitting that hype button, but make sure you're hitting the like button. We truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you are waiting for. Join our family here at Mike Drop Sports. This will be a good weekend. For Mike Drop Sports, we'll be on. It's supposed to snow, so I'll have some extra time to do some things. My son's supposed to have his wrestling tournament this weekend, which would be his first. He was supposed to have his first last weekend, but he was absolutely super sick and couldn't do it. But he's had a positive week getting back, so we're hoping that we can get him on the mat here this Sunday in Mount Pleasant, PA. Clash of the Vikings in a youth wrestling tournament there. So we're hopefully that'll happen. It'll be his very first one. So I'm excited to see how that goes. As long as they have fun, man. And that's what we need more of for these kids in our youth sports, guys. I know some of you out there are coaches and you coach your own kids or you coach other people's kids. And I know, we want to win as coaches, but I wanted to remind you. Make sure these kids are having fun, not just having fun. Make sure they fall in love with the sport, man. Whatever sport you're coaching, whatever sport you're playing there, make sure these kids fall in love with it, man. Give them every opportunity to fall in love with it because they need more of that shit. They need to have that in their lives, winning is above everything. I want to win. I always say that, and kids should want that because winning is fun. It makes it funner to win. But I want to make sure that you guys that do coach, make sure you're teaching those kids to love that game. And when they wake up, they want to go and play it. They want to put in the work to be good. And I think that that's the most important thing as coaches that anybody can teach at any sport. And I don't care. You don't have to be a guru at the sport to coach it. You just got to love the kids, man, and love the game. And I think more people should get out there and try to help our youth out, man. All right, guys, make sure you're again liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let's keep going. Hey, Wall, bang, bang, Steeler gang. Honest question: do you think that the Ravens touchdown counted on, or do you not give a fuck because we won? No, I don't think it counted. And why, guys? Because I talked about this early in the week when we did our last show. It didn't count. Why? Because the rules are the rules. And I get it. People are like, oh, sometimes we don't pick and choose when to follow the rules. You have to maintain possession through both feet and a football move. Has to inside of the field of play like that. You have to make a football move to determine possession. He did not. It doesn't matter whether or not you're in the end zone or out on a 50 fucking yard line. If there was no football move, that third step per se, there is no catch. That's the rule, and the officials got it right. The New York got it right. That's the rule. If they don't want it that way, then you got to change the rule into just 2 feet and possession. But possession, guys, it's got to be through the catch. You just can't say, oh, I got it for 1 second, boom. That's not a fucking catch to me. Catch it and hold on to the football. That's what you teach kids to do. That's what you want these pro athletes to be doing too. But not a catch. And I'll stand firm on that, AWOL. Big JD says, yeah, we're supposed to get a pretty good storm, Jason. Yes, we are. That's what it's worrying me because, man, I feel bad for my kid not getting to go to the tournament. But Pennsylvania usually keeps their roads pretty clear. So I'm hoping that I live right on the border. So, like, literally, I'm right on the border of West Virginia and PA. So I'm hopefully going to be able to get out to the PA roads and then just be able to get my son to the tournament on Sunday. But we'll see. They may end up canceling it. But I'm tired of paying $35 every week and my kid not going. Last week is because he was sick, but this week it's going to be like I'm out another. That's $70 in 2 weeks that I lose signing him up for tournaments that don't happen or that he didn't get to go to because of illness. So I'm going to start waiting until the last night. Like tonight, you're supposed to sign up for the tournament at midnight. By midnight tonight, that's what I'm going to start waiting for each week. I'm going to start waiting until right before the deadline and signing them up because, dude, I'm getting tired of wasting 35 a clip on every weekend. You should go live so we could watch it and support yourself. Thank you, man. Maybe we'll do that. I got to watch though, bang bang. Now I know this. When you're in public, there are no rights, and nobody has rights in terms of who can film what in public. If you're in public and you're in a public spot, you can film anything you want. Now, most of these things are in schools, so there are other people's children there. So I got to be really careful if I do something like that. But I might video some of it and then maybe make a something like a contemplation, you know what I mean, put shit together and make a little video. I wanted to do that with some of the football videos, but coaching, I don't really get a ton of videos. And my wife, her phone was like broke up at the time, and she just got a new one not long ago. But some of the videos were shitty, and it is what it is. I got some good ones, but I wanted to do that, and I don't want to make it just a my son. But again, you got to watch whose kid you're putting out there and shit like that. So we also have basketball coming up. We're excited about that. Got a nice group of young men yet again, man. I've always been so blessed with that. I always get a good group of kids each and every year, man. It's so exciting to have good kids that are definitely well behaved and respectful, and definitely really, really cool to have good kids. I got good athletes for basketball too. So my son's basketball will be starting up. So we'll have that and wrestling and Mic Drop Sports and Steelers football. So don't forget Monday night, Steelers, Dolphins, Mic Drop Sports. We will have boots on the ground. We will be there. I'm going to try to get down there early enough, and wherever I'm at, in whatever parking lot I'm at, I'm going to try to do a live Pittsburgh Steelers pregame show. ahead of Steelers Dolphins, and maybe we'll have some of you stop by and say hello and hang out. So yeah, I'll be with my kids. So be respectful. I appreciate that, and stop by and say hello. Yeah, man, good times, good times. Now Jason will have his kids, so I wish I could have a beer with you, but I can't. Kobe 2481 LA. The Dolphins will pull off the upset. The NFL has to pay homage to the Ravens by making Steelers lose because Ravens were robbed of a touchdown. That's dumb. Lies. Sorry, Kobe. I'm not trying to be ignorant, buddy. And I respect your opinion, but it's I get what you're saying because I do feel like this. Kobe's right in one aspect. I think the NFL does get what it wants, no doubt about that, without question. What does the NFL want, guys? And I told you this before the Ravens game. What did I tell you the NFL wants? They want Ravens Steelers week 18 to be for all the marbles in the AFC North. That's what they want. And by God, they are going to do their best to get it. I can tell you that now. And I know the Ravens are 6-7. I get it. But don't be shocked if the Miami Dolphins beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't be shocked if the Baltimore Ravens beat the Cincinnati Bengals at home in Cincinnati after just losing to them a week prior or 2 weeks prior. Don't be shocked if that happens. Bring them what? Both teams back to 7-7. Steelers still have the lead because they hold the tiebreaker against the Ravens. Moving into week whatever, going against the Detroit Lions the next week. Maybe both teams drop an L then. Crazy shit, right? Crazy shit. But yeah. Oh Lord, JD, you are too good to me, man. You are too. You are too good to me, JD. Thank you very, very much, JD. Thank you, man. May God bless you, man. And I hope you have a beautiful holiday. And thank you very, very much for that. Monster super chat coming in from our friend JD. A $50 super chat here on Mike Drop Sports. We appreciate that, man. And definitely very humbled by that and much, much appreciated by your generosity, JD. Thank you very, very much. And that definitely fuels the tank here to continue to make things move here at Mike Drop Sports. So, again, guys, thank you. And it wouldn't be possible without people like JD, Za, thank you for that super chat earlier. So many of you that give super chats and hit that like button and do all those things to support us here at the channel. And it definitely means a lot to me and to this channel and to its continued hopeful success. I believe that we're pretty successful for a small channel. You know, we're about to hit 5,000 here one day. We're almost there. We're over 4,700 now. We're cruising into 4,700 and something. So we're into that. But you know, one day it'll just go, and we'll be good to go. I'm a firm believer in that, and we've been chipping away. We built this thing out the mud, so without people like you guys, it would be not possible at all. And money, thank you, I appreciate it, and I thank you guys for just simply hitting the buttons, the likes and the shares and the hypes and things like that. As far as Kobe though, talking about the Dolphins, you know, those things aren't far fetched, man. And again, I think the Steelers Ravens week 18 matchup for all the marbles is exactly what the NFL wants. That's what they need to get those ratings to be record numbers, man. And that's what they're looking for. So guys, it wouldn't be far fetched for that to happen. I agree, Kobe. I just don't think it's gonna. I don't want to believe, Kobe. That's what I'm saying. That's how I want to put it. I don't want to believe it. You know what I mean? I don't want to believe it. Because I think it, but man, do I not want to believe it. Because, you know, that takes so much away from the game, you know? That takes a game I love and that you love, that everybody in this channel that watches and talks here, that you love, that you look forward to each and every week, getting to see NFL action. That takes that and it waters it down so much, man. And it makes it almost like WWE wrestling. You know what I mean? To where you know what the storylines are going to be. You see them coming a mile away, you know, and I don't want the NFL to turn into that because this is the ultimate sport right now. It's the closest thing that you have to a gladiator type sport. And that's what the world fed off of, those gladiator type sports, man, in the Coliseum, where they're going for blood, man. And that's what football resembles, and that's what that feeds that want in our lives, man. And that's why football's so successful, is because each and every week is full of action. We talk about what JD brought up earlier, about how tight the competition is. We talk about that. That is why this league is watched so heavily. That's why it's so reported on constantly. It's become a 365-day-a-year business. And it's definitely why, because of the excitement factor that each and every week holds so much value. And that's exactly what you're seeing with this remaining schedule right now. The NFL, boom, they hit it on the fucking money, man, with this shit. Elon JD Musk. I'm gonna pay JD back one day because I'm gonna meet JD. He lives so close to me. He lives right up the road from me. And we're gonna go lunch or something one day. I'm gonna take JD down Caparella's or something. Maybe we'll go hit Maloney's up, JD, get us some prime rib. Also, Vegas has to get all that money coming in on Steelers Monday night by Dolphins winning that game. Yeah, the gambling's ruined some of it, hasn't it? It really has. True Thong in the house. What's up, man? Yeah, bro. TJ Watt off the ventilator. I don't think he was on a ventilator ever. Maybe during his surgical procedure, perhaps, but no, I don't think he was on a ventilator. No. No, he wasn't. Again, maybe throughout like a surgical procedure, maybe that was the case, depending on how long it was. But I don't think that would have really required a very long surgical type procedure to where he would have been out on a vent or anything like that. I think literally what it was is probably, in my opinion, probably like a little bit of like conscious sedation or something, to where they were just looking around, sealing it up, and rolling out. I feel like it was probably that quick, real fast. I don't feel like it was any type of in-depth, crazy surgery, man. Again, truth long. Go back and watch the rest of the show. I kind of explained how they do those procedures and what I believe it was. And again, I do lungs, so I think I'm pretty accurate with it. Robert Road, 4579. What's up, Robert? I could see the Bengals winning the division by going 8-9 with a division record of 5-1. If the Steelers lose to the Dolphins, it may come down to needing to beat the Ravens or the Bengals win the AFC North. I would be so disappointed, Robert. You brought this up last show too, and I think you're definitely onto something. And I never thought of it until then, and that's why I was talking about earlier in the show. And I don't know if you was watching then or not, but I said that the Bengals could very easily figure this shit out, but I think they're out of it. In my head, in my heart, I feel like they're out of it. I feel like they can't do it. It's 9 wins or 9 losses already. They have to run the table. That's a win against Baltimore this week in Cincinnati, in a place that they have not won but just 2 games this whole season. Again, 2 games. That is all they have won this year. The Cincinnati Bengals at home. So they are 2-4 at home. And they have given up 413 points, Robert. That kills the Bengals, guys. Look at every other team here. Steelers have only given up 308. Ravens, they've given up 311. Bengals, or no, sorry, guys, 311 for the Steelers. They've given up. Ravens have given up 320. And the Browns, who are in last place, have only given up 301 points, and they are 2-5 at home, and they are 3-10 overall, and they have given up the least amount of points inside of the whole division. So that tells you something. When the Steelers beat the Browns, I thought that was a good win. Why? Because they beat a team that has an excellent defense. And you look at the point total right there, they've only given up 301 points, and that is definitely less than anybody else inside of the division, and far less than the Cincinnati Bengals, who have given up 413 points this season. So is it a possibility that the Steelers could have this all play out that way? Absolutely. And it would really, truly suck. I agree, Kobe. I hope it doesn't, though, buddy. You know what I mean? I'll be sure. Hold up. I'll be sure to find you Monday night, my friend, and no Bengals won't make it. Thanks, man. I appreciate your support, Kobe. I hope we're all wrong here with what we're talking about. But it's definitely something to think about, no doubt. JD says my roommate works at Caparella's. Hello, one of 15 roommates. I live in a 3-4 hour. Oh shit, man, that's awesome, JD. Maybe they can hook us up. Yeah, they hook us up, Jay. Give us some good food, man, for a discount price. I like Caparella's. My wife and I we used to go there and we went there as a whole family. But my wife and I sometimes would sneak away and go there for lunch or like a dinner or something by ourselves and have a drink and shit. So like I like Caparillas. It's definitely good. I like Malone. I used to like Maloney's and the prime rib and stuff. Get a salad, get some pasta. I used to like doing that at Maloney's. Um, but I don't know. I haven't been there in a long time. And I haven't been to Caparella's in a while either. There's a place here that I know the guy who runs it, the owner. His kid plays on my football team, or did play on our football team last year. That is very good, and it's by our house. It's called Oliverios, and I think this one over by my house is called Oliverios Cafe. They have several throughout the state, like Fairmont and stuff, I believe. I don't know exactly where every one of them's at, but it's very, very good pasta. If you want to talk about like down home pasta with garlic or with the garlic breadsticks. They're not like garlic; they're just like brushed, and they got like the Parmesan cheese on there. But they're homemade; they make them every day, and they're like real fluffy and just that homemade bread feel, a little crunch to them. Definitely really, really good. And then they have excellent meatballs and shit like that. So there are a few good places around here to grab some Italian. One day we need to do that, JD. You live too close not to. So does Danny George. Danny George lives close too. He lives like right down the road in Fairmont, a little bit farther, but still, I believe Fairmont or somewhere around Fairmont. Danny had told me. Yeah, I believe. But man, I would love to meet some of you guys and bullshit and hang out. I need to do something. We got to do something. We've been talking about it for years. For the last 2 years or so, we've been talking about it with you guys that are OGs, but. Again, we'll be there Monday night down at Acrisure Stadium. So anybody that sees us, please do not hesitate. Holler at me, man. I'd love to talk ball with you guys and definitely meet some of you. There are no good teams in the AFC North this year. Yeah, again, Robert, I said that earlier too. Um, that's the only path to the playoffs for an AFC North team is win the division. You can't make the playoffs any other way. Because you look at the Chiefs, they're a team that's better than any team right now inside the AFC North, and they're not going to make the playoffs. They're out right now. You got too many good teams, man. You got let's look at the AFC or the AFC West right now, real quick. AFC East rather. Patriots, Bills, Dolphins. So you look right there. Patriots, Bills. Those are two playoff teams. There's two. We talk about the AFC South. Jaguars, Texans, Colts. There could possibly be three of your playoff teams. There's three teams that can make playoffs there. That's five teams right now that can make the playoffs that are 8-5 or better. So that let's keep that in mind right now. So there's three teams right now, or five teams right now that are 8-5 or better. Then you look at the AFC West. There's two more teams plus the Chiefs, 6-7. They're in the same boat as the Ravens. So you take that right now. There are 7 teams, guys, that are 8-5 or better. 8-5 or better. So what's that tell you? 7 teams that are 8-5 or better. So we have that are 8-5 or better. So then we have what? Chiefs, Ravens. They're both 6-7. You have 2 teams that are 6-7. And then you have the Steelers, one team that's 7-6 right now. So that's how this is all shaken out. So 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 teams in the AFC right now that have a chance to make the playoffs. But when you talk about the 6 and 7 or the 7 and 6 team, unless they can figure out how to win a division, there's no way that they can overcome 7 teams that are 8 and 5 and better here at this juncture of the season with 4 games remaining on the schedule. There's no way, guys. What's up, Miss P? Miss P in the building. All right, guys, make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. We went a little bit extra here tonight here on Steel City Live, so make sure you're liking, sharing, hitting that like button. Thank you for the super chats. We appreciate it. But, guys, we just talked about that. Let that sink in for a minute. 7 teams that are 8 and 5 and better. So if you are a team that is 8 and 5 or better right now, you are fucking cruising. And there's no way for a 6 and 7 football team to catch up right now. I just don't see it. So I think the only team out of the 6 and 7s, which are the Chiefs and the Ravens right now, I think the Ravens are the only one with a chance to get in the playoffs because they're the only ones that can still win the division. Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are fucking out, dude, in my opinion, right now. So if we're talking about the playoffs right now, you're talking about what? The 1 seed is going to be, you got Patriots, Patriots and Broncos. So the 1-2 seeds are Pats, Broncos, and however that's going to be. So they're the 1-2 seeds right now, Then you look at the AFC South. We'll say the Jaguars win the AFC South. They'll be the 3 seed. Then it's going to be the Steelers or Ravens or Bengals, but I'm going to say Steelers. They'll be the 4 seed, okay? We'll just say 2, 3. Now you're looking at the rest of it. Now you're looking at wild card teams. So who are those wild card teams going to be? Perhaps you have the Texans as a wild card team, right? I'll take them right now. We'll give you the Texans. And the Colts may be a possibility. We'll put the Colts there too. But that's the AFC South. Then you look at the AFC West. You have the Chargers. They have the best record out of those. They are 9 and 4. So we'll say a Chargers team. There's 8 teams right there. And then you have the Bills. I think the Bills are the only other ones. The Bills are 9 and 4. So there you go, guys. Right now, that is how it looks. You have the Bills, Chargers. Let's just say that. They're 6, right? How many teams make it? 7 or 8, right? Now that they expanded, so 7 or 8? Believe it's 7, right? Somebody answer that. It's 7, right? I don't think the Ravens get in. I didn't say that they would. Robert says the Colts won't win another game. But there's 7, right? 7 get into the playoffs, right? So you're looking at good football teams being left out. Colts, Texans. I think the Texans dive up into the Bills-Chargers area. I think it right now, if I'm going to predict it, it's going to be Patriots, Broncos, Jags, Steelers, Bills, Chargers, Texans. That's who I think make the playoffs. Yep, thank you, Robert. 7. That's what I thought. I didn't know for sure. I'm like, man, am I missing something? But no. I think that's who makes the playoffs, guys. I think the Pats or the Broncos, I think, will be the 1. I think the Pats will be the 2. I think the Jags will end up being a 3. Steelers will end up being a 4 seed. I think the Bills will end up being a 6 seed. I think the Chargers will end up being a 5. And I think the Texans will end up being a 7th seed. That's how I think the playoffs shoot out right now. Robert Rowe, the Bungles' toughest game is next week at the Dolphins. They should beat the Ravens, Cardinals, and Browns in Cincinnati. The Ravens already have 2 losses in the AFC North and play the Patriots and Packers. Yeah, they got a very tough road, dude. 2 good football teams. You talk about the Patriots. They're an 11-2 football team right now, a 1 or 2 seed. And then you talk about who else do they play? The Packers. So they're the AFC North or NFC North. And they are a 9-3 football team right now, Robert. So, yeah, Definitely a very good football team that they got to beat, a 9-3 football team. Um, yeah, that's going to be tough, man. That's going to be tough. Robert says the Colts won't win another game. Robert says 7-10 at best for the Ravens. Yeah, I agree. They're out, in my opinion. I think it'll be the Steelers, says the 4. That's who I think. That's my playoff prediction right now, guys. Pats one, or Broncos 1, Pats 2, Jags 3, Steelers 4, Bills or Chargers 5, Bills 6, Texans 7. And I think it is going to be one hell of a fucking gauntlet to run if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They ain't beating the Patriots and the Packers. There's no way, Kobe. They're not good enough. Lamar's nicked up too. And Lamar, yeah, Lamar's a great regular season quarterback, but why do you want to see a quarterback in the playoffs that can't win in the playoffs? Lamar's proven that year after year after year he can't win the big games. He's never won a big game ever, ever, ever. Not in college, not in the pros, ever. He's never won a big game ever, ever, ever. And I like Lamar. I think he's a good guy. I think he presents himself well. I think he's an excellent face of the franchise in Baltimore, but he is not a championship caliber quarterback. He's just not. He is just not built that way. He has never won a big game. He never probably will win a big game. And again, he's nicked up. He's not 100%. So, I don't know. I'm hoping not, Kobe. Mark says, yeah, dude, we'll have the Bills at home. Yeah, that's how it's looking like it will shake out, in my opinion. You'll have the 6th seed. Um, they'll come to the 4. The 6th seed will come to the 4. The 5 will go to the 3. And the 7 will go to the 2. So you'll have, this is how I think week 1 of the playoffs will go, the wild card round. I think you'll see Texans, Broncos in Denver. Texans, Patriots in New England. I think the Texans have an excellent chance to win that football game. I think that'll be the biggest matchup, the 7 seed versus the 2. Then you'll see Jaguars, Chargers in Jacksonville. I think that's a very winnable game for the Chargers. I think there are going to be 2 upsets in the wild card round. And then I think there will be a 3rd upset as the Steelers will probably get beat up by the Bills at home in Acrisure Stadium. I think there will be an excellent chance in the wild card round, guys, and this could be a rare year that this happens. I think this could be a rare year where you see pretty much every single one, if not every single home team in the wild card round lose in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah, they're stagnant defense for the Ravens, and Lamar's nicked up, and that's not a good combination for them. I think 5 goes to the 4. I don't know. I thought it would always go like that, Mark. Yeah, you're right. That would be Chargers Steelers then. Yeah, if I have them like that, if I have them ranked like that, you're right, Mark. Yep, 5 would go to. So I would have Steelers playing the 5 seed. The 6 seed would go to the Jags. So it'd be Bills, Jags in Jacksonville, Chargers, Steelers at Acrisure Stadium, a team that they should have beat in Los Angeles, but gave them away. The defense was getting them off early, but the offense left the defense out there to fucking die, and you saw the result there. But the defense was playing well early on the road in that game, and the offense was the real loser in that game. So yeah, Chargers, Steelers, Jags, Bills, Broncos, or Pats, Texans. That's how I think, and I still think it could all play out that way. 3 home teams lose. What's up, Roberta? Good to see you. I don't think Bills get the 5 seed. I think the Chargers do. I think the Chargers end up. That's how I feel. We'll see. No, it'll go like that. It'll go like the 7 got to go to the 2. So the lowest seed plays the highest seed in every round, guys. That's how that always works in any tournament. The lowest seed plays the highest seed that's remaining. That's how it'll always work. So that's why it's never hard to figure out who goes where, unless, we're just hypothetically talking here. I didn't realize I had the Chargers at 5. But anyway, that's how it works. The lowest seed always plays the highest seed. That's how it always goes. So whoever the 7th seed is will play the 1 or the 2 seed if they're remaining, or so on and so forth. Whoever the highest seed will be that's remaining, that's where that 7th seed goes. They will get no home playoff games. If you were the 7th seed, there is no way. If you were the final seed, no way for you to get any home playoff games. And the only way for the Steelers to get another home playoff game, and this is an oddity just because they're the 4th seed, not because of their record. The only way for them to get another home playoff game would be to face a 5, 6, or 7 seed. Otherwise, they have to go on the road to play also. Yeah, me too, Robert. I'd rather play the Chargers than the Bills too. All right, guys, we're going to get up out of here. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in here to Steel City Live. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come join our conversation each and every single, well, not every single day. We don't do it every single day anymore. I felt like it was getting watered down when we did it every day, but I'm enjoying this, doing it as many times as I can through the week and then hitting it hard on the weekends for games. So I'm enjoying this a little bit better. Definitely. And again, I got too much going on to be able to do it every day, but yeah, join us. Make sure your notification bell is turned on, because that's the only way to know exactly when we are going live every time. If you have that notification bell turned on, it'll alert you, hey, Mike Drop Sports is ready to roll. So come and join us. So we'll be back tomorrow here. We definitely are supposed to get a snowstorm, so everybody make sure you stay bundled up. If you live out here on the East Coast, and especially here near sunny southwestern Pennsylvania, the home of the Steel City and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Might be about 10 inches now. So we'll see what happens. And don't forget to check us out Monday night at Acrisure Stadium and stop by and say hello. That's all right, Roberto. We always love you. Thank you. AWOL says, you think Mike Tomlin blew that kiss? It was too much because we haven't won 2 in a row. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that, but Mike sucks. But anyway, all right, guys, I love y'all. You guys are great. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I'll leave you, and we'll talk tomorrow. Peace.
Power takes the approach as a coach.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's a field back block, and that's
The guy that throws his body around.
Mike Drop Sports. Steel City Live.